Did you know that according to the Project Management Institute, the global economy will need 25 million new project management professionals by 2030? That's not a typo, 25 million. Now, let me ask you something. If your job feels uncertain right now, if your industry is going through layoffs, restructuring, or being disrupted by AI, what's your game plan to protect your career? What's your safety net? Here's the good news. Project management can be that path. And today I'm going to give you a step-by-step roadmap to break into project management, even if you have little or no prior experience. This isn't theory. This isn't fluff. This is based on real frameworks, the latest research from organizations like PMI, McKinsey, Deloitte, and the World Economic Forum, and what I've seen personally coaching professionals who have made this transition successfully. For those who don't know me, I'm Nigel Thomas, and I've managed hundreds of project leaders and hundreds of projects for over 20 years. Now I help professionals, career switchers, and business leaders develop the skills to thrive managing projects and more. More importantly, to use those skills to secure their careers in a changing economy through years of working with both new and experienced project leaders. I've seen how project management changes careers. I've worked with analysts, middle managers, engineers, finance people, and others who've made the leap, and every single one of them said they wish they'd done it sooner. So here's what you can expect from this video. Over the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to cover why project management is one of the most future-proof career paths in today's economy, exactly how to get started, the step-by-step playbook and pathways available to you, whether you're a student, career switcher, or mid-career professional. The core skills you can build today, even without a PM job title. 4, how to leverage AI and digital tools so you stand out from other candidates. And 5, the most common mistakes to avoid when trying to break in. The real career benefits and advancement opportunities that come with project management. Examples and case studies from respected sources like McKinsey, BCG, Deloitte, that show how executives often begin their leadership journey through projects. And finally, I'll wrap up with a recap, close, and with an action for you to take next. If you stick with me, you'll walk away with a complete actionable roadmap to start your journey in project management, and maybe even fast track your career into leadership. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I don't have an MBA. Can I really become a project manager? I've never had the title project manager before. Will anyone even hire me? Do I need expensive certifications just to get started? What if I try and fail? These are common questions I've heard a lot, and the answer is yes. You can break into project management without an MBA, without years of prior experience, and without getting buried in debt. Because here's the thing, project management is not just a title, it's a skill set, a mindset, a toolkit. And if you can demonstrate those skills, you can land opportunities faster than you think. So let's get started. In this first section, I've set the stage. You now know there is a demand for project managers that's exploding globally. You don't need to have PM in your current job title to start learning and applying these skills. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to follow. Ready? Let's dive into section 2, why project management is one of the most future-proof skills you can invest in now and beyond. And hey, before we move on, if you're serious about this journey, subscribe right now for weekly strategies on thriving in project management. That way, you'll keep building momentum beyond just today. Why is project management a future-proof skill? Here's the reality. We're living in a time of constant change. Jobs are being automated. AI is rewriting how entire industries function. Companies are restructuring faster than ever, and many people are feeling that uncertainty, and maybe you are too. So the question becomes, what role or skill set actually survives in this environment? According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, project management sits among the top 10 most critical skills for 2020, because no matter how much technology advances, businesses will need people who can take change, new strategies, new tools, new ideas, and make them real. That's what project managers do. Think about it. AI can process data, but it doesn't sit down with the sponsor, align stakeholders, resolve conflicts, and motivate a team to deliver results on time. That's the human element. That ability to translate vision into execution is at the heart of project management. In other words, while many jobs are shrinking, the need for skilled project managers is expanding. There's cross-industry demand. Now, here's the beautiful part. Project management is not tied to one industry. In tech, there's project managers that lead software rollouts, AI integration, cybersecurity initiatives, people change initiatives, all sorts of things. In the healthcare space, PMs handle compliance projects, new facility openings, health record projects, various other standard things that organizations go through that require coordination of multiple people. In finance, we have PMs that manage digital transformation, regulatory responses, new product launches. In construction and manufacturing, PMs get massive infrastructure projects and supply chain initiatives. Those people keep these organizations moving forward in whatever change initiatives they have going on. So wherever there's complexity, wherever change needs to happen, project managers are there. And that means if you develop PM skills, you don't box yourself into a single career lane. You open opportunities across industries. Project management as a career hedge. Here's a coaching insight I share with my clients. Project management is like career insurance. If your current role feels unstable, say you're in marketing and AI tools are automating half your tasks, having project management skills gives you an on-ramp into roles that are still in demand. In my talent gap report shows that demand for project managers is growing faster than supply, with millions of positions projected to go unfilled worldwide. That's not just an opportunity, that's security. When you can step into a project role, you're not waiting for change to disrupt you. You're actively leading the change. Here's another reason project management is future-proof. It's a leadership training ground. Research from McKinsey shows that many executives are promoted after successfully leading large-scale initiatives or transformation projects. In fact, leading a project is often the first test of leadership before someone gets promoted into higher management. Think about it. Projects require 1, setting a vision, 2, aligning a cross-functional team, 3, managing risks and resources, and 4, delivering tangible results. Sound familiar? That's leadership in a nutshell. So when you build project management skills, you're not just future-proofing your current career, you're laying the foundation for future leadership opportunities. Let's address the AI question head on. Yes, AI is reshaping how projects are delivered. Tools can automate reporting, scheduling, even risk flagging. But here's the kicker. AI doesn't replace the project manager. It makes the project manager more valuable. Deloitte's research found that over 70% of executive priorities today involve transformation initiatives. Those initiatives require both technology and human leadership. AI can crunch the numbers, but it takes a project manager to bring stakeholders on board, adapt processes, and ensure the transformation actually sticks. So if you can combine project management fundamentals with AI literacy, you make yourself nearly indispensable. Here's another coaching insight. Here's how I frame it for my clients. Most jobs show you one department. Project management shows you the whole business. That's why PMs climb faster. They get a 360-degree view. They see how marketing connects with finance, how operations depends on IT, how strategy plays out across HR and customer service. It's like going from staring at one puzzle piece to suddenly seeing the whole picture. And that big picture perspective makes you incredibly valuable to employers. So let's recap the section in plain terms. Project management is future-proof because it's about managing change, and change isn't going anywhere. PM skills transfer across every major industry. PM roles act as a career insurance in a volatile job market. Leading projects is often the pathway into leadership roles, and in an AI-driven world, PMs who understand both human and digital tools will thrive. That's why, if you're worried about your career today, project management is one of the smartest investments you can make in yourself. Before we move into the practical how-to steps in section 3, I want you to do one thing. If this is clicking for you, if you're realizing project management might be the bridge you've been looking for, click the link below and I'll send you my free How to Become a Project Manager roadmap. It'll give you actionable strategies you can start applying right away, even before you land your first PM role. And of course, make sure to subscribe for weekly strategies, because building these skills is not a one-time event. It's a journey, and I'll walk you through it step by step. All right. Now we've talked about why project management is such a future-proof career skill, but the question most of you are asking right now is, okay, Nigel, how do I actually break in? That's exactly what we're going to cover in this section. 4 clear entry pathways into project management with pros, cons, costs, and timelines. Pathway 1 is the internal transition. One of the fastest ways to become a project manager is to transition inside your current company. Why? Because your employer already knows you. They know your work ethic. They trust you. And often companies are looking for people to take ownership of projects. They just don't always advertise it. Here's what this can look like. Volunteering to lead an initiative, like rolling out a new internal process or helping with a system upgrade, shadowing an experienced project manager. Ask your manager, can I sit in on the project status meetings? Taking ownership of something cross-departmental, like onboarding new hires, running a training program, or coordinating a product launch. You don't need the title project manager yet. You just need the opportunity to show project management behaviors. Here's an example. I coached a client who was in a customer service role. She noticed her team kept running into the same issue with delayed onboarding of new clients. She pitched the idea to streamline the onboarding process. Her boss said, go for it. She documented the steps, coordinated with IT, and rolled out a fix. That project became her springboard into a project coordinator role. So here's your action step. Look around your current workplace. Where is something messy, unorganized, or delayed? Pitch it as a project. Pathway 2, certifications and training. Now, maybe you're saying, Nigel, my company doesn't really have those opportunities, or I want to make a bigger career switch. That's where certifications and training come in. The most recognized ones are CAPM, that's a certified associate in project management. It's great for beginners. No prior PM experience is required. Then there's a project management professional. It's the gold standard. It requires experience, but it is powerful later on in your career for career advancement. Other options are Scrum Master, CSM, if you're leaning into tech and agile roles. The good news is certifications aren't the only path. There's lots of online courses and programs that can help you demonstrate the skills without spending thousands. For example, my course, How to Be a Great PM, focuses on building the practical habits and communication frameworks that make you effective immediately and is meant for someone that has taken an introduction to project management course. Timeline for the CAPM can take 2 or 3 months of study. PMP, if you qualify, might take 6 to 12 months. But with online learning, you can start building skills today. So according to PMI's 2023 salary survey, certified PMs earn up to 20% more on average than non-certified peers. That's a significant ROI. The third path is to apply directly for entry-level PM positions. Look for titles like project coordinator, project assistant, junior project manager, implementation specialist. These roles don't expect you to know everything. They want someone organized, communicative, and willing to learn. Here's a tip. In your resume and interviews, highlight projects you've already touched, even if they weren't called projects. Did you organize an event, lead a volunteer program, manage a research assignment at school? Those are project management experiences. An example, a career switcher I coached came from a teaching background. She applied for a project coordinator role in an ed tech company. In her interview, she said, as a teacher, I managed 30 students, curriculum deadlines, parent communications, and classroom initiatives. That's project management, just without the job title. She got hired. So don't underestimate the power of translating your experience into project management language. This final pathway is to target industry-specific PM roles where your background already gives you an edge. If you're in IT or in software, agile projects, system rollouts, migrations, construction has site coordination, scheduling, and compliance, and healthcare has compliance initiatives, electronic health records, process improvement, finance has regulatory projects, product launches. If you already have domain experience in these industries, pair that expertise with project management fundamentals and you stand out. I had a client in nursing. She didn't want to stay at the bedside, but she loved healthcare. She transitioned into a project coordinator role in the hospital's IT department, supporting electronic health record projects. She leveraged her domain knowledge to land the job and learn the PM side on the go. So ask yourself, what industries do I know best? Where could PM roles overlap with my current expertise? So let's compare the 4 pathways. Here's what I tell my clients. Pick the fastest pathway available to you, but don't ignore the others. For example, if you can transition internally, do it now. Meanwhile, start studying for CAPM. If you're a career switcher, target entry-level roles while building skills online. If you're in a specialized industry, position your domain expertise as a competitive advantage. You don't need to wait. You can start building momentum today. So the 4 main pathways into project management are transition internally, get certified or trained, apply for entry-level roles, leverage your industry expertise. Which of these fits you best? If you're not sure, here's what I want you to do. Click the link below and I'll send you my guide, 10 things great PMs always do. Inside I break down habits and skills you can demonstrate immediately. Whichever pathway you choose, and don't forget to subscribe, because in the next section we'll cover something equally important, the core skills you can practice every day even before you land your first PM job. Up next is section 4, building core skills daily. Now let's get practical. Even before you land your first project management job, you can start building the core skills of a project manager every single day. Why does this matter? Because when you eventually go for that interview or step into that first PM role, you'll already have the habits, the mindset, and the language. You won't just say, I want to be a project manager. You'll be able to show that you've already been thinking and acting like one. Core skill 1 is communication. Let's start with what I call the project superpower. Think about it. Projects failed not because the plan was bad, but because communication broke down. Stakeholders misunderstood the scope. Teams didn't get updates. Sponsors were left in the dark. You can practice this skill right now by writing clear, concise emails, summarizing a meeting in 3 bullet points, practicing active listening, repeating back what you've heard before responding, using simple language to explain complex issues and ideas. Here's an example. If you're in a job where your manager gives you instructions, try rephrasing them back. So what I hear is, you want this report by Friday with the updated budget and client feedback included, correct? That one technique prevents confusion and shows leadership. Core skill 2 is organization. Now, when I say organization, I don't mean just keeping your desk tidy. I mean setting up systems that keep information flowing. Practical ways to build a skill are start using a task manager like Trello or Asana, or even just Excel to track your work. Practice labeling files consistently so you can find them easily. Block time on your calendar for key tasks and stick to it. Here's the mindset shift. Don't just organize for yourself, organize for your team. If someone else had to take over your work tomorrow, would they know what's going on? That's how project managers think. Core skill 3 is proactive management. This one separates good project managers from great ones. Proactive management. It's about anticipating problems before they happen. You can start practicing by looking for early warning signs. Are people missing meetings? Are deadlines slipping? Is engagement dropping? Instead of waiting, you raise the flag. You ask the question. You prevent the issue from becoming a fire. I once worked with a client who said, I don't want to bug my manager with small issues. I told him that's exactly what project managers do. They raise issues early before they become expensive problems. He started flagging small risks and his manager said, thank you. You're saving us headaches. That's how he got noticed. Core skill 4 is stakeholder awareness. Another skill you can build daily is raising stakeholder awareness. Stakeholders are simply anyone affected by the project, sponsors. Here's a simple practice. Make a list of the key people you interact with regularly. Then ask yourself, what do they care about? What frustrates them? How do they prefer to receive information? That's stakeholder mapping in its simplest form. You're learning to think about people not just as contacts, but as players in the bigger picture. Even in your current role, start practicing this. Adjust how you communicate depending on the stakeholder. With your boss, highlight outcomes. With peers, share practical details. With clients, focus on benefits. That's project management in action. Core skill 5 is risk awareness. Risk management might sound intimidating, but it's just structured common sense. Here's how you can practice daily. Before starting a task, ask yourself, what could go wrong? Write down 3 possible risks, and for each, write 1 action you could take to reduce the impact. So, congratulations, you just built a mini risk register. You don't need to wait for $1 million project to start thinking like this. You can apply it in school, work, or even personal life. Planning a vacation thing. What if my flight's delayed? What if the hotel overbooks? What's my backup plan? That's risk management. Core skill 6 is goal setting. It's another habit to develop daily. Project managers don't just say, let's do this. They define clear outcomes. Use the SMART goal framework. That is, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Here's an example. Instead of saying, I'll learn project management this year, say, I'll complete the CAPM certification within the next 4 months by studying 5 hours a week. When you start setting SMART goals for yourself, you'll naturally carry that mindset into your projects. You start asking the right questions. Number 7 is relationship building. Finally, don't underestimate relationships. Projects are about people, and building trust with people is a skill you can develop everywhere. Here's ways to practice this. Check in with colleagues outside of formal meetings. Express appreciation when someone delivers. Stay neutral in conflicts, focusing on outcomes. Ask clarifying and open-ended questions. Strong relationships are what keep projects moving even when things get tough. Here's the coaching insight. Here's what I want you to take away from this section. You don't need permission to start acting like a project manager. You can start today by sending clear emails, organizing your tasks, anticipating risks, and practicing stakeholder awareness. Then setting SMART goals, strengthening relationships. Do those consistently, and when someone looks at you, they'll think, that person already operates like a project manager or like a leader. Because guess what? What we're doing here is preparing you to be a leader, an amazing employee, an amazing contributor to your team and organization. So these are leadership skills that you're practicing. So here's your action step for this week. Pick one of these skills and practice it daily. Just one. Maybe it's clear communication. Maybe it's goal setting. Maybe it's stakeholder awareness. Do it consistently for 30 days. You'll be amazed at how people start noticing and how much more confident you'll feel stepping into a project management role. And remember, if you want a clear roadmap of top habits, click the link below and I'll send you my free guide, 10 Things Great PMs Always Do. Now, in the next section, we're going to step into the future of project management, how to leverage AI and digital tools to give yourself a competitive advantage. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, AI. Everywhere you look right now, people are talking about artificial intelligence. It's in the news, it's on LinkedIn, it's in conversations about job security. And you might be wondering, if AI is taking over so much work, is project management even safe? Well, here's the good news. Project management is not just safe in the age of AI, it's becoming even more valuable. Why project managers need AI literacy? Let's be clear. AI is not going to replace the need for project managers, but project managers who know how to use AI, they're going to rise faster than the rest. According to the PMI's Pulse of the Profession report, 4 out of 5 organizations believe that AI will have a significant impact on how projects are delivered in the next 3 to 5 years. And Deloitte found that over 70% of the executive priorities involve transformation initiatives, many of them powered by AI. That means skilled PMs are needed not just to use AI, but to lead projects that implement AI solutions. How PMs are already using AI. So how does this look in practice? Here are some examples of how PMs are already using AI today. Status reports, instead of spending hours compiling updates, you can use AI to generate a first draft of your weekly status report. You just feed it your meeting notes, risk logs, and milestone updates, and you polish it. The result, more time focused on stakeholders, less time formatting slides. Scheduler. AI tools can analyze team availability and automatically suggest optimal meeting times. Imagine saving your Fridays from those endless email chains. Can you do Tuesday at 3? No? What about Thursday at 11? Then there's dashboards. Things like Power BI and Smartsheet now integrate AI that pulls live project data, analyzes trends, and flags risks automatically. You log in and see the schedule variance is trending 12% above baseline. That's a proactive insight you can act on. And then risk prediction. AI can scan past projects and tell you which factors most often lead to delays or cost overruns. It's like having a project weather forecast. But let's also be clear on what AI can't do. AI can't convince a skeptical stakeholder to support a project, mediate a conflict between 2 team members, or inspire a team that's burnt out. It can't navigate office politics to get budget approved. That's why I say AI makes project managers more valuable, not less. It handles the repetitive tasks, freeing you up for the high-value human work, communication, influence, and leadership. Think of AI as your assistant, not your replacement. Here's something I tell my clients. AI doesn't reduce the need for project managers. It raises the bar. In other words, the PMs who only push paper or update spreadsheets, they're at risk. But the PMs who can lead people, tell the story, and use AI to be more effective, they'll thrive. This is why building AI literacy now is a career accelerator. How do you actually start building these AI skills as an aspiring PM? Here are some simple practical steps. Experiment with the AI tools now. Use ChatGPT or similar tools to practice writing a project update. Prompt it. Write a project status update for a website launch that's 2 weeks behind schedule due to design delays. Then critique it. How would you improve it? Use AI in your personal organization. Try task management tools with AI features like Notion AI or ClickUp. See how they suggest priorities or summarize notes. Then stay curious. Read reports from PMI and others on AI in the workplace. These aren't just predictions. They're insights executives are using to plan strategy. Always remember, AI gives you a draft, but your judgment refines it. That's how you maintain trust and credibility. Let me give you a couple of examples across industries to make this real. In healthcare, PMs are using AI to help schedule staff and forecast patient load, but it's the PM who explains the changes to staff and ensures adoption. In finance, AI can scan transactions for compliance risk. The PM manages the implementation of that system and ensures regulators are satisfied. In tech, AI helps predict bugs or system failures, but project management is the one aligning developers, testers, and business stakeholders to act on that information. See the pattern? AI provides data. The project manager provides leadership. Let's anchor this in research. The PMI Pulse of the Profession estimates that organizations that adopt AI tools will soon handle up to 20% of PM tasks, mostly administrative. Here's something from Deloitte. Over 70% of executive priorities are transformation initiatives, many AI-driven, requiring PM leadership. The World Economic Forum, AI and project management are both in the top 10 most important skill clusters for the next decade. So let's summarize this section. AI is transforming project management, but not replacing it. PMs who learn AI tools will become faster, smarter, and more effective. The human side is communication, leadership, influence, which remains irreplaceable. Building AI literacy now gives you a major edge in the job market. So here's my challenge for you. This week, pick one project management task, maybe a status update, a meeting summary, or a risk log, and try doing it with AI. Compare the result to what you do manually. You'll start to see the possibilities. And remember, click the link below and I'll send you my free How to Use AI in Project Management guideline. Section 6 is common mistakes and how to avoid them. All right, let's get real for a moment. So far, we've talked about opportunities, pathways, and the future of project management, but there's another side to the story, the mistakes that can hold you back, sometimes even get you fired as a project manager. The good news, these mistakes are avoidable, and in this section,
Mistake
I'll
number
show
one
you
is
not just
poor
what the
stakeholder
mistakes are,
communication.
but exactly
This is
what
the
to
number
do
one reason
instead.
projects and project managers fail. I've seen brilliant technical PMs who could create perfect Gantt charts but lost their jobs because they didn't communicate effectively with stakeholders. Here's what poor communication looks like. Sending updates that are too technical, waiting until the end of the project to share bad news, failing to tailor messages for different audiences. Do this instead. Communicate early and often, deliver updates in simple, outcome-focused language, share bad news quickly with a plan to fix it. Adjust your tone and detail for each audience. Executives want high-level outcomes. Team members want specifics. Here's an example. Instead of saying we're experiencing scope creep due to variance in the work breakdown structure, say, we've identified extra work being requested. If we include it, the timeline will extend by 3 weeks. Here are 3 options to handle it. That's clear, actionable, and builds trust and credibility. Mistake number 2 is over-focusing on tools and not people. This common mistake is something that, people do. Yes, project management software like Jira, Asana, MS Project is important, but no tool can replace leadership. I've seen PMs spend weeks customizing dashboards only to have their projects fail because they ignored team morale or stakeholder buy-in. Do this instead. Use tools to support conversations, not replace them. Spend more time with people than with spreadsheets. Remember, your job is to create alignment and clarity, not just to update a tracker. Here's a coaching insight. I tell my clients, no project failed because the tool wasn't perfect, but many projects fail because the people weren't aligned. Mistake 3 is ignoring risks until it's too late. This one is classic. That's waiting for problems to explode before addressing them. Many new PMs think that risk management is something you do once in a document and then file away. That's a recipe for failure. Do this instead. Review risks weekly. Ask your team what's keeping you up at night. Track probability and impact. Have a plan B for the top 3 risks at all times. Here's an example. Imagine you're running a product launch. A risk might be supplier delays. If you've already built a contingency plan like a backup supplier, you look like a hero when the issue comes up. That's proactive project management, or is not building relationships. Here's something that PMI and McKinsey both emphasize. Projects succeed or fail based on relationships. New PMs often focus so much on tasks and deliverables that they forget to build trust with their stakeholders and team. The result? Resistance, misalignment, and lack of support. Do this instead. Schedule regular check-ins with stakeholders, not just about tasks, but about their priorities and concerns. Build credibility by following through on commitments. Create psychological safety in your team. What does that mean? It means make sure people are safe to speak up, that your team members feel free to speak up, and so they can speak up early. Here's an example. A client of mine moved into a PM role in a financial services firm. At first, she only gave status updates in meetings. I suggested she spend 15 minutes each week having informal conversations with her key stakeholders. Within a month, she said, "Can't believe how much smoother things are. They trust me now." That's the power of relationships. Mistake 5 is acting like you have to know everything. Many new PMs fall into the trap of thinking if I'm the project manager, I have to have all the answers. That's simply not true. In fact, it can make you look insecure or controlling. Do this instead. Position yourself as a facilitator. You're not the expert. Ask great questions instead of giving all the answers. Let your subject matter experts shine. Here's an example. In a tech project, a PM doesn't need to know how to code. What they need is the ability to ask, what's blocking you? How does this issue affect our timeline? What support do you need to move forward? That's leadership. So here's what I want you to remember. Being a great project manager isn't about being perfect. It's about avoiding the big mistakes and consistently doing the basics well. If you communicate clearly, stay proactive, build relationships, and facilitate effectively, stand out from 90% of new PMs. So here's your action step. This week, pick one mistake you might be making right now, whether it's waiting too long to share updates or not tracking risks, or avoiding relationship building, and flip it. Practice the do this instead. And if you want a checklist of the top habits great PMs consistently apply, click the link below and I'll send you my free guide, 10 things great PMs always do. It'll keep you focused on what works. According to McKinsey, executives are far more likely to be promoted after successfully leading large-scale transformation initiatives. In fact, many leaders point to a big project as their first major leadership opportunity. Why?
Because projects replicate the challenges of leadership, setting a clear vision, aligning people across departments, managing limited resources, delivering tangible results under pressure. So when you lead projects, you're not just managing tasks, you're demonstrating leadership in action. Here's another massive benefit: exposure. Most roles keep you inside one department. Marketing sees marketing, finance sees finance, IT sees IT. But project managers, they see it all. You're in meetings with HR, finance, operations, IT, marketing, legal, and the C-suite, sometimes all in the same week. You become the connector. According to PMI's Talent Gap report, professionals with cross-functional experience are promoted 33% faster than peers who stay siloed in one function. That's the power of project management. It gives you a map of the whole organization, and that visibility accelerates your growth. Projects build networks that open doors. Here's another career advantage: relationships. When you lead a project, you're constantly interacting with senior leaders, sponsors, and stakeholders. That means you're on their radar. I'll give you an example. I coached a client who was a project coordinator in a tech company. She thought she was just taking notes in executive project meetings, but those executives started to notice how she summarized discussions, flagged risks, and asked smart questions. Within a year, one of them personally recommended her for a promotion. That's how project management works. You build a network by adding value in front of the right people. Here's an analogy I love. Running your first project is like running a mini startup, but with a salary. Think about it. You get a budget, get a team, sometimes cross-functional. You set goals, you solve problems, you deliver results to customers or stakeholders. It's entrepreneurship training inside an organization. Harvard Business Review compared leading enterprise projects to running startups, noting that many projects involve $500,000 to $5 million budgets and cross-functional teams. That's huge responsibility and a huge development opportunity. So if you've ever dreamed of launching your own business one day, project management is one of the safest, best ways to build those skills first. The financial ROI of PM skills, now let's talk about money. According to PMI's 2023 salary survey, certified project managers earn 20% higher median salary than non-certified peers. Even more interesting, in many industries, certified project managers out-earn MBAs early in their careers. Think about that. Instead of taking on $100K in student debt, you could get a CAPM or a PMP certification, running projects, and build your career trajectory without the same financial burden. That's why I tell my clients results and execution beat degrees. Another angle is that project management skills make you more recession-proof. Deloitte found that over 70% of executive priorities are transformation initiatives. The translation? Even in tough times, organizations still need projects delivered. So while some roles are cut in downturns, PMs are often retained or even called on more because they're the ones who turn strategy into results. In other words, when the world gets messy, PMs are the ones companies rely on to bring order. Here's my coaching insight. Your career is the biggest project you'll ever manage. If you approach your career like a project, setting goals, managing risks, building relationships, and delivering results, you'll stay in control no matter what the economy does. And project management is the toolkit that gives you that control. Let me give you a story to bring this one home. One of my coaching clients was an analyst in the financial sector. Smart, capable, but stuck in back office roles. He decided to volunteer for an internal project digitizing a legacy reporting system. He coordinated stakeholders, flagged risks, and facilitated weekly check-ins. The project was a success, and guess what? Senior leaders noticed. He was promoted into a PM role within 6 months. 2 years later, he was leading multi-million-dollar initiatives, presenting directly to executives. He said, running that first project changed my career trajectory forever. That's what's possible when you step into project management. So let's recap the career benefits of project management. It's a fast track to leadership. Projects test and prove leaders. PMs see the whole business. Cross-functional exposure accelerates promotions. Projects build powerful networks. You're visible to senior leaders. Running projects is like running a mini startup. Huge responsibility, huge learning. PM skills deliver strong financial ROI, higher salaries, sometimes better than MBAs. PMs are recession-proof. Organizations need change delivered even in downturns. Here's my challenge to you. Don't just think of project management as a job. Think of it as a career accelerator. Start building the skills to get into projects and watch how doors open, not just for new roles, but for leadership opportunities. And if you want to see the exact roadmap I give my clients for accelerating their careers with project management, click the link below and I'll send you my free How to Become a Project Manager roadmap. Now, in our final section, we're going to bring everything together. We'll recap the roadmap, give you the motivational boost you need, and lay out the clear call to action for your next step. We've covered a lot in the last hour, so let's take a moment to pull it all together. As a quick recap of the roadmap. Number 1, we started with
big picture. PMI projects that 25 million new project management professionals will be needed by 2030. That's a massive opportunity. 2, it's a future-proof skill. We talked about why project management is future-proof. According to World Economic Forum, it's one of the top 10 skills for 2030 because it's about managing change, something AI and automation can't do for us. Number 3, the pathways. Then we got practical with 4 clear entry pathways. Transition internally, get certifications or training like CAPM or PMP, apply for entry-level PM roles, leverage your industry or specific background, and 4 core skills. In section 4, we dug into the daily skills you can practice right now. Communication, organization, stakeholder awareness, risk management, goal setting, and relationship building. Number 5 was AI and digital tools. It was about the future. PMI and Deloitte both show that AI is transforming project management, but it's amplifying the role, not replacing it. PMs who learn AI literacy will rise faster. Number 6 is mistakes and fixes. Section 6 showed you what not to do. Poor communication, ignoring risks, over-focusing on tools, neglecting relationships, and how to flip those into strengths. In section 7, we explored the payoff, faster promotions, cross-functional exposure, leadership opportunities, better pay, and long-term career security. That's the roadmap. That's how you break into project management. Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about landing a job. This is about taking control of your career in a world that's uncertain. If you're worried about job security, if you're feeling stuck in your current role, if you're a recent grad wondering where to start, project management gives you a toolkit to thrive. It teaches you how to set goals, manage risks, lead people, and deliver results. And here's the truth. Those aren't just work skills. They're life skills. Your career itself is the biggest project you'll ever manage. And you're the project manager. Here's what I want you to remember. You don't need permission to start. You don't need a fancy title or a 6-figure certification. You can start acting like a project manager today in your job, in your community, even in your personal life. Every time you communicate clearly, anticipate risks, or bring people together to solve problems, you're practicing project management. So don't wait for someone to hand you the role. Start building the habits and the role will come to you. Let me share one last story. A client of mine was working in HR. She felt stuck, invisible, and worried about layoffs. We worked together to reframe her role as project work. She volunteered to lead a cross-department initiative to streamline employee onboarding. She mapped stakeholders, created a risk register, facilitated workshops, and delivered the project successfully. Here's what happened. Her leadership noticed within 6 months, she was promoted into an official project coordinator role. A year later, she was managing projects full-time. She told me, Nigel, the day I decided to stop waiting and start acting like a project manager was the day my career changed. That's the power of taking action. So here's my message to you. Don't let uncertainty hold you back. Don't wait until your role is automated or until the perfect job shows up. Start now. Take the first step. Lead one project, big or small. Build one skill. Volunteer for one initiative, because sometimes one project can change your entire career trajectory. Now, I want you to take 2 simple actions before you leave this video. Click the link below. Send you my free guide, 10 things great PMs always do. It's packed with habits and strategies you can start applying right away, whether you're aiming for your first role or your next promotion. And subscribe to this channel. Every week, I'll share practical strategies, coaching insights, and tools to help you thrive in project management and leadership. Accelerating your career, this is the community you want to be part of. I'll leave you with this thought. The world is changing fast, but change always creates opportunity. And project managers are the ones who turn opportunity into results. So step into it. Lead the change. Manage your career like the most important project of your life, because it is. I'm Nigel Thomas, and I'll see you in the next video.